at this space, the LyteSPACE. It's once again transformed. It's almost like we're outside, but we're not quite. My name is Sam Corbel, the founder of LyteSPACE, where we empower light ideas, and I want to welcome you to the LyteSPACE, where we create unique experiences that are interactive and immersive. At LyteSPACE, we like to tell stories about light that are based on the facts, free of opinions, and give you the chance to learn a little, laugh a little, and just get excited. Today's event will conclude with a live Q&A, so make sure you type in your questions while you say hi to your friends over there in the chat. Make sure you're streaming in 1080p. It looks good in here, and we want you to feel the same way. Click that scroll wheel down there and make sure you're up and running in HD. We've also got a little surprise for you. We know you're busy and you have spent a lot of time in front of your screen over the last year. So we're gonna keep this short, just 20 minutes. You can hang out for the Q&A afterwards, or feel free to jump back into your day and watch the recap later on. Today, we've got our friends from Cooper Lighting Solutions in the studio. Travis Johnson and Lance Bennett are here with us to help talk about the new Galleon 2 platform. It's been reimagined from the ground up. Lance Bennett is the Vice President of Specification Sales, International and National Accounts. He's also the past president of the IES. Travis is the Product Marketing Manager for McGraw Edison, and he's got a pretty cool story to tell you about the history behind McGraw Edison.
You might know Cooper as a house of brands, and that we are, but did you know that those brands are there for more than just a name? McGraw Edison has arguably the most rich history of them all, dating all the way back to 1896 with Thomas Edison's phonograph. A young Max McGraw then started his own electrical business in 1900 at the young age of 17. While Edison was clearly an innovator, McGraw was an entrepreneur with a clear vision. There is a way to do it better, find it. Over the next 50 years, McGraw would partner with his idol Thomas Edison and his son Charles, building a legacy that lives on today within the Cooper Lighting portfolio. Innovation and continuous improvement still define McGraw Edison as we continue to execute on Max's original vision, pushing the envelope with highly specified outdoor lighting solutions. Today, we are truly standing on the shoulders of giants, and you're about to find out a lot more goes into outdoor lighting than you might think. Today, we're going to show you how the legacy from the past is moving forward with Galleon 2. Are you ready? It's showtime.
Sustaining innovation is the practice of iterating on something that's successful, but it has room for improvement based on the advancement of technology and manufacturing capabilities. The Galleon 2 system has kept its classic look, but it utilizes the redesigned housing to be optimized for efficiency, configurability, and reliability. Whoa! Whoa! Did you see that? What was that? It was the boogeyman. I didn't think he was real. It's kind of whoa! Whoa, there he goes again. Well, how about that? How about that augmented reality? It's impressive, isn't it? You know, while the boogeyman isn't real, it's tangible. It's something people feel, the fear of the unknown. Sight and area lighting combats this by making sure that your surroundings are visible. They allow you to see where you're going, what's around you, and create that sense of safety and security. The key to achieving this is uniformity. More on that in a minute. For now, look at this map. There's a tremendous amount of energy at use every night. Why not save some of it? As our population grows and more infrastructure is built, we have to take steps to avoid overloading our electrical grid. Yep, that's right, believe it or not, it has a finite capacity. We can't just keep throwing energy on the grid. It's not going to take it forever, is it, Lance?
No, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, it's not, Sam. In fact, I was just doing some quick math. The fact is that it's taken us over 10 years to convert 50% of outdoor spaces to LED. Now the good news is this pace will accelerate in the coming years as older HID and even older LED installations are replaced. By opting in to save energy with modern technology, the financial return on investment is clear. But in addition to that, you can help eliminate light pollution while reducing carbon footprint for years to come. You know, Sam, it's kind of like we're saving the world one Galleon 2 at a time.
You know, Lance, you might be able to save the world, but it's going to take you a few years. Speaking of years, the TM21 data that the Galleon 2 boasts is what helps it last all those years. 60,000 hours after 6.85 years. The light output is tested to be 97% of the original lumen output. How's that for a lumen maintenance story? And it has to be easy to maintain over the lifetime of the installation. This is at the heart of the redesign. Uniform light is key. I told you we would come back to that. Here's an impressive recent study to highlight something that sheds, well, a little light, no pun intended, on our eye's ability to adapt in human perception overall. In case you haven't heard of them, the team at the Lighting Research Center at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute studied the importance of safety and perceived safety in the parking lot. You know, like what your eyes see. They found that a parking lot lit to an average of 5 lux, that's 0.5 foot candles, with a 2-to-1 max to min uniformity ratio created a similar level of perceived safety as one that was lit to an average of 20 lux, that's 2 foot candles, but had an obnoxious uniformity of 15-to-1. That's a 75% reduction in light output, but it still feels the same. Uniformity is the differentiating factor here. Simply put, it's the most important factor when designing for safety, energy savings in an outdoor luminous environment. Engineered with precision and flexibility in mind, greatly improved uniformity can be achieved with the appropriate design practices and optical distributions. These are available in Galleon 2. And just like that, poof! The boogeyman, he's gone. That uniform solution needs an engineered design that considers the surroundings and an ability to control where light goes. Don't forget about landscaping either. And remember, it grows over time. Poles are expensive. They don't grow. With an average installed cost of $4,500 on a site or nearly $9 grand in a roadway application, minimizing these on a project will help the overall efficiency of the system. Keep them out of harm's way, maximize available parking, and of course, manage the initial cost. Very rarely are 2 site plans ever the same. They require a code-compliant design, whether it's free reign or burdened with height restrictions, spill light, or you just need to eliminate light for some other circumstance. Say that neighbor that wants their peace and quiet. If you want just one form, one light to adapt and do it all, well, the Galleon 2 has risen to the challenge. With over 5,300 different options across 16 optics and a variety of accessories, the Galleon 2 sure does have a few things to configure. Isn't that right, Travis? I mean, 5,300 different options, that's pretty incredible.
Actually, it's 5,328 to be exact.
Okay, so I was a little bit off, but I was pretty close. I tell you what, tell everybody a little bit more about this.
Hey there, I'm Travis Johnson, the Product Marketing Manager for McGraw Edison. We are really excited about the Galleon 2 and what it will build on, thanks in large part to your feedback. The heart of Galleon hasn't changed. A highly scalable platform using best-in-industry precision optics that Sam talked about earlier. Optical performance is key, and with Galleon, well, you get the Rolls-Royce when it comes to options, performance, and customization. You can put light right where you need it and not where you don't. Within those 16 optical distributions, we offer symmetric, asymmetric, and specialized distributions and shielding options for very special applications. Why? A single point in an application can be sometimes as small as 1 square foot, and that can mean the difference between meeting a spec and not meeting a spec. So it is critical to have a solution for every design. To enable you to accomplish this, one of our signature technologies lies within our SL optics, which uses a combination reflector-refractor system to eliminate spill light. Our SL corner optic, for example, allows you to focus energy from one luminaire and direct it into a single quadrant while employing sharp cutoff for the rest of the space. Take a look at that cutoff on the wall behind me. There's virtually no backlight at all. As you know, some specifications, whether driven by code or green energy initiatives, are very demanding and require more than what a refractor can do. We've got you covered with a few shielding options designed to limit light trespass, reduce G ratings, and create a more comfortable environment to ultimately advance your design practice.
Man, look at that. Oh, sorry guys. Sorry, I was just studying this Galleon layout actually. Let me show you a couple things that I noticed on this. There aren't many poles in this parking area, yet the uniformity can really throw light around. That shouldn't make the contractor happy, being able to trench around the perimeter and just bring 2 drops down under the islands. Being able to really harness the power of LED is cool, but the modularity of the light squares that Galleon 2 uses allows this to really scale across mounting heights, from 10 feet up to 40 feet. There are 3 different body sizes that can help do the heavy lifting, and they also remain anything but a distraction down at the pedestrian level. This one's obviously just a little bit lower than normal. I know you've seen them floating around the LyteSPACE here in the background, and off to my side. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This housing has been completely redesigned for all 3 sizes. It's lighter, it's a single piece casting, and it has an easy to service power tray that will make maintenance hassle-free over time. Do you know what comes with all of this? A new manufacturing process to streamline the supply chain, to minimize waste, to make everything more efficient. Take that to the brickyard.
Yeah. Hey there, I'm Lance Bennett and I'm the Vice President of Specification Sales and National Accounts at Cooper Lighting Solutions. The new design of Galleon 2 is something that we are all excited about. We were careful to keep the look and feel of Galleon, but don't be fooled. This next generation includes critical upgrades that make a world of difference. Galleon 2 already reduces pole and head counts, as we mentioned earlier, due to best-in-class spacing and uniformity. In addition to this, a major focus of the redesign was directed towards ease of installation and maintenance, because speed and efficiency are critical on the job site. Galleon 2 can cut installation times in half due to a few significant changes. All arms are shipped factory installed, so there's no need to open the housing at any point during the installation. This unique adapter that mounts pre-assembled to the quick mount arm allows quick and easy attachment to that arm, whether it's a round or square pole. If maintenance is required, the power tray can be quickly removed and replaced, which includes drivers, surge, and control modules. In addition to these internal nuts and bolts, the new upswept arm option introduces an elegant visual theme that complements any architectural design. For specifications requiring standalone or connected controls, Galleon 2 seamlessly integrates occupancy sensors and cameras to increase safety and reduce energy use. For our basic dimming occupancy sensor, you can control with a simple use of a smart device, to wavelength control options that operate as a standalone or fully networked solution. NEMA 3 and 7-pin receptacles for basic photo controls or advanced communication modules, and our lumen-safe high-definition camera platform is compatible with existing security networks to create a seamlessly integrated system. Specifying the Galleon 2 is almost as fun as installing it. The only difference is you don't get to stare at this immaculate, beautiful graphite metallic housing, just a good old-fashioned computer.
Hey Lance, computers, they're not old-fashioned.
You're right. HID is though. Galleon 2 is where it's at. Galleon 2 is 100% made to your exact specifications. The lumen output ranges from 3,300 to over 73,000. CRI is available as 70 or 80 options, and the CCT runs the gamut from 2,200 to 5,700. And we also have a narrowband amber 590 nanometer for turtle-friendly or observatory installations. You can use as little as 1 light square or ramp up to 9, depending on how many squares you need will determine the body size. With the 3 options hanging out with me in LyteSPACE today, a 4 square, 6 square, and 9 square. All of this helps you put the light where it's needed, illuminating the area in use and the immediate surroundings with great uniformity. The new upswept arm and 6 standard finish option make this a win-win to look at night or day. You'll enjoy it at any time. Maintaining the Galleon 2 might be the biggest innovation of the entire platform. With a lifetime that is built to last, the inevitable truth is power supplies, surge protection, and control modules will likely reach end of life long before the LEDs do. To make servicing these components easy and seamless, a removable power tray was made standard for all housing sizes. It has access to a weather-sealed door and swaps out with 3 screws. All of the wires come together with quick connects, allowing for an internal disconnect. While each component is individually serviceable, a cohesive swap is best to keep the system in sync and be able to test before, during, and after a service call. After all, when you're up in a bucket or somewhere that's not quite on the ground, you'll want to be as efficient as possible. Sam, I know you'd like to be as efficient as possible. Would you like to tell everyone how to design with Galleon 2?
I sure do like to be efficient, especially when it comes to designing. And Galleon 2 has a lot of options. So how do you evaluate it for your design? When it comes to site and area lighting, you have to consider the layout. What kind of light map do you want to create? And where can you physically place the poles? How high can they be? What's the area that they're primarily being used for? Cars, people, or both? You have to establish a baseline in your design with a 4, 6, or 9 square unit. Then determine any criteria that will require shielding and place those luminaires first. From there, it's best to optimize the layout for uniformity by filling in the dark spaces with a wide range of patterns that targets anything from a 2:1 to a 10:1. By maximizing the uniformity, this also minimizes the amount of energy used. To further reduce energy, there are 3 solutions when it comes to Galleon 2 and controlling the light. You can control each light individually with a standalone sensor that also has a daylight sensor in it. The coverage patterns on the sensors vary based on what's specified and should be coordinated with the mounting height of each pole. When using the Galleon 2 in design, the configurability isn't bound by what you see though. For instance, the modular design of the light squares allows you to get creative with a layout by placing a combination of optics in a single head to manage a situation that's unique to your application. For a streamlined and synchronous control system, Wavelengths is available as a network solution where a WAC is required. Or Wavelengths Lite can be activated locally and used with Bluetooth on a mobile device. I tell you what, I'm gonna let Lance tell you a little bit more about the rollout. And of course, how much they freaking love Galleon 2.
To recap, Galleon 2 does everything Galleon did and a whole lot more. Galleon 2 launches right now. I'm excited, we're excited, are you excited? That's all I got, Sam. Anything I forgot?
Nope, Lance, I don't think you forgot anything at all. Actually, there is one thing. Everybody wants to know, you want to know, when can you get your hands on one of these? Am I right? Well, I'd say with the ability to create uniform outdoor luminous environments while saving energy and creating a safe space, the answer might be never. You can just design a custom solution, put light right where you need it, and just admire it up on the pole. Look at it. The installation will be beautiful, and maintenance over time will be streamlined and hassle-free. Thanks for sticking it out with us. We're gonna go live with a Q&A in just a couple minutes. Give us a moment to get your questions compiled. We're gonna change things up a little bit. We're gonna get more comfortable. I'll be back in 60 seconds. Are you ready? Time me, here I go. 2 is so cool. You guys have worked so hard to bring the second iteration of the first generation of, real site and area lighting at a spec grade level from Cooper Lighting Solutions into its next level. Everybody out there, thanks so much for joining us. I hope you're enjoying this fun little event. We're a little bit more casual, but we're gonna sit here and we're gonna hang out. We wanna answer any questions you have. Literally, send them over. We prefer they're about Galleon 2, but if you want, predictions on who's gonna win the NBA Finals, and I'm sure Travis can give you his favorite idea on that as well. Type any questions you have in that chat. We're compiling them live. We're gonna feed them to Travis, and if you can believe it or not, he literally knows everything about Galleon 2. Oh, or maybe like 99.9% of it, right?
That's right.
We've got a couple questions coming in already. There's just a couple things that I wanted to ask you before we got to the pool, but what is your favorite thing about Galleon 2?
That's hard because there's so many great things about Galleon 2. Honestly, from an aesthetic standpoint, I love the upswept arm. It's actually here in the studio. I don't know if they can see it, but it just lends a much more architectural look to the Galleon 2 and allows it to be used in a lot of different spaces. It's easy to install, and I just can't say enough great things about it. Our engineering team spent a lot of time designing that upswept arm. So that is one of the mounting options and probably is my favorite thing about Galleon 2.
I think you guys obviously took a lot of time to make sure Galleon 2 kind of paid tribute to the original Galleon, but at the same time, you refined it in every way you could. Upswept arm, I'd be lying if I didn't say, I think it looks pretty good. I think you guys did a good job on that. One other question that I wanted to just talk to you a little bit more about, and we touched on this earlier, but safety and perceived safety, and then there's also security is something that's super important when you talk about street and area lighting, site lighting, roadway lighting in general. What does that mean to you at Cooper Lighting, and how have you really addressed that with Galleon 2?
That's a great question, and it really is one of the main reasons why we do what we do. Okay, we're all about taking energy, and taking strain off the grid, which is something that you talked about, and really driving efficiency and all of that. But at the end of the day, it really is about making places more inviting and safer, and perception is a big thing. So the LRC study really focused in on that perceived safety, which is at the heart of why uniformity is so important. The concept of safety really talks about keeping people safe, making sure they can get from point A to point B. They're interacting with cars and other people and interacting with the environment. There may be a curb here or there, or like a pothole or something that they need to be able to see. And then the security is a third concept, which is really keeping your person and your items, your belongings safe from other people. Okay, so we're really focused in on perceived safety and how important that is. And it really helps to transform the space when you have that uniform look, like you talked about in the video.
I mean, you would think all this is trivial, right? Safety, security, like you said, potholes and curbs, these are all things that we encounter every day. We almost just take for granted. I think it's really fascinating, for me at least, to kind of break down how when you're developing a product like this, there are actually real problems that you're trying to solve. It's not just a light on a pole to put light in a space. Really, really cool that you guys have thought through all of that. I know one other thing that was exciting for you and the team was this single piece design. We've got a couple of them here sitting in the studio. They're really elegant. They've got this nice polymer bird guard on top of it. It's a single piece, it's lighter weight. Why was that important to the team who developed Galleon 2?
Well, it was important for a number of reasons. What we wanted to do is really be a lot more efficient in the total design process. The original Galleon really is unbeatable in terms of scalability and configurability. And in order for us to have achieved that, we had a lot of different parts and pieces that had to be manufactured and then come together and assembled. And when you have all of these, 100 different parts and pieces, the complexity goes up and et cetera. And what we wanted to do is really simplify that whole process with this monolithic form, the single piece cast housing, while also taking advantage of the fact that LEDs are so much more efficient than they were when Galleon launched originally. They produce less heat, etc. And so we were able to reduce the heat sinking. Okay, so we took a lot of cast aluminum out of the design, and our engineers did a great job of doing that and then incorporating this bird guard system, which is a polymer. It's actually made of McGraw 2407 is the specific with UV inhibitors infused into it. And it really makes it a total lightweight system that looks great. It pays homage to the original Galleon while also taking a step further.
You know, speaking of lighter materials and more efficient LEDs, there's optics. And we've got a question coming in from Nicholas. He wants to know, when it comes to those modular designs in the IES files, how will those be available? Can they work through rep groups, or do they contact you directly? What's the best way to get information?
The answer is yes. So I would go through the rep group, that's fine. We also have tech support that is available to help with that. We try to make the process as simple as possible, and it is a little bit of an evolution because it's something that we haven't done before. We haven't really made it available before. So it is something that is continually evolving in order for us to make it as simple as possible. But it is available right now on a PDR basis. We're going, because it is so specific, and we are going to make available custom IES files, okay? Because if we were to make all of the combinations available, it would be billions with a B. It would be so many, because you have all of these different optics, plus the rotation, plus the square count. You multiply all that together, and it's just an unbelievable amount of combinations. So that is a custom thing that we do, and we're known for customization. We do PDRs all the time, and we try to reduce the number of PDRs that we do by making everything that we can standard. But in this case, it would be a custom thing. Yep.
When it comes to optics, Shelby wanted to know, when you put shielding options on here, what's the reduction in light output in terms of the lumens that are lost?
That is a very good question, and it really varies depending on the type of shield that is used. We have a couple of different shields. I'll go ahead and just show it. So we have the house side shield here, which has been in the market for a while. Okay, and these go over, they were originally developed specifically for the SL2 optics, or the SL optics, but we actually have expanded those into other optics as well. And then we have PFS, which is an accessory that you can actually install onto the light square after it's been installed, and it serves to block spill light. And then we have the GRS, which is available in white or black. And this really, as a rule of thumb, if you're at 20,000 lumens, it was designed to reduce your G rating by 1 using this shield. And like I said, it's available in white and black. And each of these are going to definitely impact the efficacy, but in different ways. So I would say, as a rule of thumb, I can't really give a rule of thumb, but I would say check the IES files. And oh, by the way, we did something new with the IES files that I haven't talked about yet. We've actually put the lumen value in the file name of the IES file, so you can see the lumen value while you're scrolling through all those thousands of IES files and really get a sense for what kind of lumen hit you're going to take when you use an option.
When it comes to these shielding and the optics, there was a question that came in from Joe, and he wants to know, can you field rotate or replace these optics?
You can, absolutely. They are field rotatable. You can replace them. So it is a standard light square, and that we offer as a warranty issue or what have you. The optics are actually attached to the light square, so it comes as a package. So all it is, it's a light square plus optic with the wiring. You just detach the wiring. It's super easy to do. Slap the new one on there, and you're ready to go.
And then Shelby was also curious. She wasn't seeing the Galleon 2 live on the Cooper Lighting website today. I know you guys have a special treatment for this one. Just let everybody know where that's at right now so they can find details.
Absolutely. So there is a QR code that is available. Click that. There's also a link. So what we did is we created a very special microsite specifically for this product, because we are in the middle of an upgrade to our website, our corporate website. And that will be going live very soon here in terms of just upgrading some behind the scenes things. So what we had to do is actually create a microsite outside of that. So we were actually able to do some different creative things with that as well. So that is available now.
And that's there and that's live. In case you didn't see that QR code earlier, you can actually just rewind in this live stream back to where we were switching up the set here, and that's scrolled across the screen. Go on ahead and scan that with your phone and it'll get you right to where you need to be. We had another question that came in from Shelby, and she was wondering, when it comes to the area light sensors, are there mounting restrictions, and what's the radius like for the coverage area on those sensors?
That is a very good question. So the question is around coverage area for the sensors themselves. Correct. Okay. So we do offer a couple of different lens options. We have the 20-foot option, which takes you from 8 feet mounting height up to 20 feet, and then there is a coverage area associated with that specific lens. And then we also offer a 40-foot mounting height. And how that is done is, it's really interesting. If you look at the lens, you'll see sort of a honeycomb shape here. And what that does is every section here is like a different lens in and of itself that helps focus that heat into the PIR sensor, which is underneath this lens. So we do offer a couple of different lens designs for that, both for the wavelength system and then also for the standard SPB occupancy sensor system. And all of that is available on the spec sheet in terms of looking at the coverage pattern, looking at the area of coverage, etc.
Awesome. I had another question coming from Paul, and he noted that uniformity is an apparent design focus for Galleon 2. How has minimizing high angle glare been accomplished with this, or have you minimized it all around?
That is a really tough question, actually, because if you minimize high angle light, what you end up doing in some cases is actually reducing the product's ability to get that spacing. So there is definitely sort of a tug of war, okay, between hitting a spec and being able to space out those poles, and then the human interaction with the light and that sort of, that I don't want to say the G word, but glare that you see when you're at a distance. So what we did, I will tell you that the optics themselves have not changed, okay? But like I said before, we have these glare reducing shields and different appendages that you can put, or accessories that you can put on the light square itself in order to reduce G ratings, potentially, make that human interaction more enjoyable, whether you're on site or if you're a neighboring property.
And when it comes to your distributions, you've obviously got 16 different dedicated optics with a variety of distributions to help tailor light to put it where it needs to go, creating, as we like to call it, that light map in a site, correct?
That's right, absolutely.
One more question from Jeff. He was wondering, as it relates to the TM21 data, can that report be delivered in an Excel format?
I believe so. I believe it can. We have made those reports available. So I would say get with tech support if you need it, and we can get that delivered to you.
And what about BIM models? Are you guys working on those for Galleon 2?
We are. It is a standard. We don't have those available right away. They are being worked on, but the BIM and the Revit files are being created for Galleon 2.
Got it. You know, I was outside earlier today, and there were a couple birds that were hanging up on the power lines, and it was like they were speaking to me. They were staring me down. They were like, this is the only comfortable place we can sit anymore. What's going on in the world? Talk to me a little bit more about this bird garden, what you guys did there. Obviously, this is not part of the heatsink. This is really just an aesthetic that is actually standard, but acts as a bird guard as well.
Absolutely.
I know you surveyed a few of them out there.
Yeah, we did a bird survey, and 9 out of 10 birds said that they wouldn't mess with the fixture. But no, in all seriousness, the bird guards really serve two purposes. So you have an aesthetic purpose where you have this form that is filling the space and continuing the aesthetic form of the Galleon. And then the second thing, it is highly functional in that it fills the space, it keeps debris off of the heat sinks, it does keep birds from nesting in that area, and it's highly functional. It's super lightweight and very durable. There is an option on the spec sheet to actually have those removed if you don't want them, but they are standard on the fixture.
I think it looks pretty nice. I mean, it's pretty durable. You can sit here and we can tug on the entire thing. When it comes to the overall Galleon, I know that there's a lot of work behind this. Talk to me just a little bit more about the team that was involved in this and really how this whole platform is meant to serve everybody in the community, whether or not you're a designer, specifier, a contractor, or somebody who's just maintaining it over time.
Well, that's a really good question. So how I would approach that is a couple of ways. First of all, let me talk about the team that came together to actually deliver this awesome product. You know, it takes a village. We have Stephen Gladden did a great job as a project manager to really keep everybody on task and everything moving, because there's so many moving parts with this. And then Craig Smith is the chief mechanical engineer that actually did a lot of the design and all of the design work for this. And then also we have our industrial design team that had to work with our mechanicals, and then also an electrical team, and then the optical team. There's just a lot of people that have put so many hours into this platform and just knocked it out of the park. So thanks to the team, I only named a couple of them, but there's like 30 people that worked on this. And then in terms of, you know, delivering a product that really serves the entire channel from the top down, you know, the heart and soul of the product is configurability, scalability, making sure that you have one platform, one form that can do everything that you need in an outdoor space. And there's a lot of, like we talked about earlier today, other use cases too that we're not even able to think about or imagine where these Galleons are going to be used, Galleon 2s, and that's great. And so it's scalable, it's configurable, so we wanted to make it easy for the design community to do what they needed to do, all the way down through the channel to the contractor, okay, who's actually installing this product and is maintaining the product over time. We're able to take a lot of material out, make the driver housing very simple to actually use and to maintain, and then make it easy to install. You know, cutting that install time in half was really critical for us to accomplish with the Galleon 2. So everybody came together and was able to deliver all of that for the entire channel.
It's fascinating to me. I mean, I can't say that I drive down the street every night and I stare up at, you know, lights on 30-foot poles.
I do.
Oh, of course you do, right? I hope you're not driving. I hope you're riding while you're staring at the lights.
That's right.
But so much goes into what may seem like a simple utility product. It's important that people can create that light map. It's important that people who have to touch it and physically work with this thing are happy when they're dealing with it. So much has gone into Galleon 2, and I just want to thank you for being here to share this entire story with us. We've really enjoyed learning about Galleon 2 at LyteSPACE. I hope that all of you watching have also enjoyed learning about the Galleon 2 here in the LyteSPACE, where we like to tell stories. We like that's new when it comes to lighting. I've got some good news too. We've got another one of these coming up in just 4 weeks. It won't be around the outdoor environment so much, but we're shifting to the indoor with Cooper. We're going to talk about a brand new technology. It creates an illusion. I won't give anything else away. You may have seen a little bit of it. Until then, get back to work, or go hit the golf course, or enjoy a cup of coffee, maybe some lunch, or get outside and go for a walk around the block. After all, the summer solstice was like 5 days ago, right? It's beautiful. It's summertime. On behalf of everybody at LyteSPACE and Cooper Lighting Solutions, thanks for tuning in today. We'll see you soon.